The Prince and the Pauper by Mark Twain. The Prince and the Pauper by Mark Twain is a tale of mistaken identity set in 16th century England. The story follows two boys, Edward VI of England and a poor boy named Tom Canty, who look remarkably alike and accidentally switch places. Tom, living as a prince, struggles to navigate royal duties and the pomp of court life, while Edward, cast into the streets, experiences the harsh realities of a pauper's life. Through their adventures, both boys learn valuable lessons about justice, compassion, and the stark inequalities in society. Their experiences ultimately lead to personal growth and a restoration of their true identities. Let's deep dive into the book. Two Boys in London. The Prince and the Pauper begins in 16th century London, where two boys are born on the same day. Edward Tudor, Prince of Wales, and Tom Canty, a pauper living in the city's slums. Despite their vastly different circumstances, they share a striking resemblance. Tom's harsh reality. Tom Canty lives with his abusive father and struggles daily for survival. His only escape is through his imagination and the stories he hears from a local priest about the royal family, which fill him with dreams of a better life. Edward's sheltered life. Conversely, Edward Tudor leads a sheltered life in the royal palace, surrounded by luxury but isolated from the outside world. His understanding of his kingdom is limited to what he is told by his advisors and tutors. The fateful encounter. The paths of Edward and Tom cross when Tom is caught trying to catch a glimpse of the prince. Edward invites him inside the palace out of curiosity and sympathy. Amused by their similar appearances, they decide to swap clothes as a prank. A sudden switch. The prank takes an unexpected turn when Edward is thrown out of the palace by the guards who mistake him for Tom. Meanwhile, Tom is mistaken for the prince, and despite his protests, is forced to assume the role of Edward. Edward's struggle in the streets. Edward experiences the brutality of London streets firsthand, facing hunger, humiliation, and injustice. He asserts his identity as the prince, but is met with ridicule and labeled insane. He is rescued by Miles Hendon, a kind and down-on-his-luck nobleman who doubts his story but feels compelled to protect him. Tom's royal dilemma. In the palace, Tom struggles to perform his duties as a prince. He relies on the guidance of the Lord Protector, who is suspicious of his sudden strange behavior but dismisses it as illness. Tom grows increasingly empathetic towards the people of England as he learns more about their hardships. Edward's quest for identity. Edward's journey through the country exposes him to the suffering of his subjects under the harsh laws of his father's reign. This profound exposure shapes his perspectives on justice and governance, strengthening his resolve to reclaim his rightful place. The climactic coronation. As the coronation approaches, both boys desperately seek to restore their true identities. Edward, with the help of Miles, races back to London to claim his crown. He arrives just in time to prevent Tom from being crowned as king. Resolution and reform. Once Edward proves his identity, Tom joyfully returns to his old life, and Edward ascends to the throne. The ordeal leaves a lasting impact on both. Edward pardons Tom's family and rewards Miles Hendon for his loyalty. As king, Edward implements reforms influenced by his experiences, addressing the injustices he witnessed firsthand, thus becoming a compassionate ruler beloved by his people. Let's explore together the main themes and concepts of the book. Social inequality. The Prince and the Pauper vividly illustrates the stark contrast between the lives of the privileged and the impoverished. By swapping the lives of Edward and Tom, Twain explores the rigid class distinctions of 16th century England, highlighting the arbitrary nature of social status. This theme is central to the narrative, demonstrating how circumstances of birth determine one's place in society, and it challenges the justice and fairness of such disparities. Identity and self-discovery. Throughout the novel, both Tom and Edward undergo profound journeys of self-discovery, forced by their circumstances to live lives vastly different from their own. This theme explores how personal identity is shaped and sometimes obscured by societal roles and expectations. Their experiences lead them to question who they are and what they truly value, ultimately gaining a deeper understanding of themselves and their roles in the world. Abuse of power. Twain criticizes the misuse of authority through the depiction of the English monarchy and its officers, who often wield power unjustly. As Edward experiences the cruelty inflicted on his subjects, and as Tom navigates the complexities of court politics, Twain uses their stories to comment on the dangers of absolute power and the need for justice and mercy in governance. Compassion and empathy. The novel champions the virtues of compassion and empathy. Edward's first-hand experiences with poverty and injustice profoundly affect him and inform his actions when he regains his royal position. This theme is a call to understand and alleviate the sufferings of others, suggesting that those in power should have direct knowledge of and care for the lives of the people they govern. The role of fate and fortune. The Prince and the Pauper also contemplates the roles of fate and fortune in our lives. The random chance of Edward and Tom meeting and their subsequent switch is a whimsical yet poignant exploration of how fortune can dramatically alter one's life path in moments. This theme reflects on the randomness of life's circumstances and challenges the notion that people's fates are solely the result of their inherent worth or actions. Let's talk about the author. Mark Twain, born Samuel Langhorne Clemens in 1835, is a cornerstone of American literature, celebrated for his witty humor and sharp social commentary. Growing up in Hannibal, Missouri, his experiences as a riverboat pilot inspired his most famous works, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer and Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Twain's writing is notable for its use of vernacular speech and satire, effectively critiquing societal norms and injustices. His influential body of work includes novels, essays, and narratives that often highlight the absurdities of human nature. Twain passed away in 1910, leaving a profound impact on American cultural and literary landscapes. Sincere thanks for watching. If you found this summary helpful, consider taking a moment to hit the subscribe button, like or share the video. If you have any feedbacks or book requests, make sure to leave a comment. Regardless, I wish you a great day.